Keep your radio dial right here. You're locked into the hottest news station on the planet. Hot 702.5 in FM sound. Blazing today's hip-hop, R&B, and pop music. Keeping your radio on fire. Bringing you the hottest, realest, riskiest talk shows live 24/7 on hot7025fm.com.
Close your eyes. Imagine a room that doesn't just look beautiful, it feels alive. The lighting is perfect, the energy is electric, and the scent of gourmet creation is in the air. Now look around. You aren't just checking the kitchen or hovering over the guest list. You're in the moment. You're the life of the party. Welcome to the world of irresistible events and catering. In a city built on spectacle, we specialize in spectacular. At Irresistible Events and Catering, we just don't fill plates, we curate memories, because our philosophy is simple, elegant, and absolute. We plan, cater, and style any event. Why settle for ordinary when you can have the irresistible? Elevate your event at irresistibleeventslv.com.
Hi. Hey.
What's up? All your favorite artists.
Check it out. Say my name. DJ Khaled. This is Mila J. Bruno Mars.
On hot7025fm.com.
It's your main man, 360 the Poet from the Morning Wood. And are you looking for the perfect drink? Well, you found it. Mimosa Royale is the perfect combination of California sparkling white wine and natural juice that is both tasty and refreshing. No artificial colors or flavors, no sugar added, and it's gluten-free. As the world's first ready-to-drink mimosa, Mimosa Royale is perfect for any occasion, day or night. You no longer have to drink 12 of those seltzers just to get that perfect buzz. At 8% alcohol, Mimosa Royale is the perfect drink to party with. Offered in a variety of flavors and sizes, you are bound to find a Mimosa Royale that you'll love. We have berry, mango, apple, and orange, with more flavors to come. Mimosa Royale is the most award-winning flavored wine that serves in bottles or cans. You can find them online at drinkmimosa.com or find them at your local liquor store. Ask for it by name. Mimosa Royale.
Hi. Hey.
What's up? All your favorite artists.
Check it out. Say my name. DJ Khaled. This is Mila J. Bruno Mars.
On hot7025fm.com.
What up? What it do? What's going on? I can't hear Suge. Turn Suge up.
Check. There we go.
Now I hear you. I heard me though.
What's up, people? What's up, everybody?
We in the building. Way bigger than sports. Back at you. I got
we don't
on my
talk about sports. We talk
Caribbean
about real
vibes.
life. Where you going?
Man, I'm trying to manifest going to Costa Rica or somewhere.
Well, you dress like you about to leave after the show.
I am. All right, hold on. Let me start. At the top of the show, I want y'all to know this show is sponsored by Revive Tea and Mocktail Lounge. Open Wednesday through Saturday at 5 p.m. Serving premium tea, 0% wine and beer, elevated comfort food. That means shrimp and grits, more and more. Visit ReviveLounge.com to make a reservation or check out the menu at ReviveLounge.com. That's for y'all.
Welcome, everybody. Welcome back. You are tuned into the Way Bigger Than Sports show. I'm your host, I'm Big Suge, a.k.a. Sugar Dosha the Great, a.k.a. Mr. Tell Your Friends About Me with my bro host.
Q-MECCA, 2 texts up. You know tragic gon' hold you down. My baseball sound.
We have a special guest in the building, everybody.
Say what? Who is it?
Mrs. Dinisha Mingo.
Hello, Dinisha.
Add her. What does she have going? Let's go. She got Woman of Distinction Award in 2021. Advocate Volunteer of the Year by the Urban Chamber of Commerce in 2021. Okay. Las Vegas Top 40 Under 40 Professional. Vegas Inc. Magazine Professional 2022. She said CEO. What you got going? She got an earned master's degree in both educational psychology and psychology. I said philosophy, my bad. Philosophy. Mingo Health Solutions, CEO. Okay.
That stands for Chief Executive Officer. I don't even know how to spell in here.
You got questions for the therapist?
Who, me?
Yes.
Yes.
I do too. I got a lot of questions for him, actually.
I got a few.
Because I want to kind of break down, get this thing I got in my mind about therapy.
What's the thing that you got?
I'm like kind of one of those that don't full-fledged believe in it all the way.
I understand. I get it.
And I'm hoping that this conversation, this branch of today, can make me think otherwise. You?
How I feel about it? I understand where you're coming from. I see both sides of it. I see how some people be like, yo, man up. You ain't got time to be depressed. Or anxious or whatever you're going through. You got duty to do. You got to take care of the family and yourself. And then I can see how our mental health connected to this country. The country that we are, the state that the country is in, gives you cause to pause where you see so many young men either killing themselves, killing each other, killing a woman that's pregnant, school shootings, concert shootings, grocery store shootings, all of these things that's going on a weekly basis in our country, to me tells you the mental health of our society is bad. And we all need to get back closer to the God within
us. Just
us.
inflation alone is hurting.
I didn't even say financial. I just gave, but financial is big on all parts of mental health.
She's in the house.
Hey.
You on mute?
You on mute. The boss lady, turn her up. We can't hear her.
Hi, forgive me. Glad to be here. Thank you so much for having me.
How you doing? We're happy to have you.
Thank you. It's Men's Health Month, so it's always nice when y'all little ladies talk about it with y'all. We try to let men talk to men, so we're not over talking. So I'm just excited to be here for this conversation.
Okay,
that's great. That's a good thing. We need more conversations with each other so we could get an understanding.
Absolutely. I got a question on that. Black men, do they come to you and you give them
therapy?
Yes.
Yeah. So
let me ask you this one more question. How long does it take because I'm sure they got walls or barriers. Like, what does it take for them to actually open up to you? I'm saying as a stranger with your degrees and all that stuff. How long does it take for somebody to open up to actually tell you the truth?
So every population has its own barriers or things that might make it difficult. When I have worked with men, first of all, men prefer women in therapy because they can be more vulnerable than men. So sometimes they come looking for men for sure.
Wow.
We see it more where the youth, like a lot of times parents want a male for their young boys, but a lot of times adult men prefer women. I think that in terms of it being people feeling more comfortable to open up, it really depends on the clinician, right? Me, a lot of people open up to me pretty easily, but I think what we learned during the therapy process is that sometimes people are less honest than they even realize they're being because it takes time to build the relationship. Right. So I think that men in general can be more distant and not as open, but I think the therapist, the warmth, the non-judgmental atmosphere they create makes the difference in how quickly someone opens up. And of course, their purpose of coming to therapy, right? If they're forced, that's going to be different than them coming saying, I have a problem and I'm looking for some help. That makes a difference in how open people are, and men specifically.
Okay. That's a great thought. That's a great thought. How often or percentage-wise would you say men are forced versus on their own volition coming to you?
That's a little bit of a difficult question. I think that people, and men specifically, are coming to therapy more regularly than we've seen before. The pandemic changed a lot of things, but I think over the course of my work here in the Las Vegas, we've seen it because we've been out, right? Exposure makes that difference. And when people get into a crisis, them knowing that someone is there. We at MHS, and I apologize for my volume if I missed your introduction, but we do domestic violence classes and anger management, and we do tend to see more men in those classes, and those are the ones that tend to be more required, or if it's a part of probation and parole, and we know that there's a disproportionate number of men in that system, so you might see it required as a part of that. But we do see a lot of men coming on their own. You would really be surprised. And a lot of Black men are happy to work with, and I'm going back to your previous question, Black women. Sometimes it just feels like home. It feels comfortable. I know when I've worked with my Black male clients, they are often like, I'm just so happy that it's you, that I had a Black woman. So we have to be careful in therapy about this thing that we call transference and countertransference stuff. Meaning like when you're working with your clients or they're working with you, sometimes they can remind you of somebody you know. I had a client once who he had an addiction, and it was triggering me in session because it reminded me of some family members that I know. And so I staffed that, with my colleagues to just kind of talk about how it was making me feel. But I did not want to let him go because he was so happy. I was the only Black therapist at that clinic, and he was so happy to be with a Black woman. So sometimes it's like you feel familiar, and that makes that space a little bit safer for them.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. A lot.
Wow. I didn't think that. I didn't think a lot of men would do that, especially, with dating and how the things are going on right now in the world, right?
Uh-huh.
That will look to a woman therapist. But now think about it, they're probably the smarter thing to do. Because you might get the same ad-libs or the same information from a man if they think in those circles.
Yeah, for sure. And I think like if we think about relationships, right? Who are you more vulnerable with than your woman? Right? That's when you can be safe, be a little bit more childlike, all these types of things, right? So I think for men, and this is what I've heard, and the research also supports it, is that they do sometimes want a man, depending on what it is. And sometimes they do prefer men for like couples therapy. But when they're doing one-on-one, I think it has to do with social norms and masculinity. You don't want to look weak in front of another man, and it's just an implicit thing in your mind, and that's what comes up because they don't want to look weak, even if they feel like they probably want to talk to a man a little bit more. So yeah, they're like, I prefer to talk to a woman because I don't want to look weak if I gotta cry, or when we're going deep. Or hey, it happens though.
You hear this?
No, that make a lot of sense.
Okay, I'm about to ask you, would you prefer if you had to cry in front of somebody, a man or a woman?
I think that it makes sense what she said. I think that if I'm going to therapy for my relationship, then I will want a woman because she can give me the other side and understanding of maybe the woman that I'm struggling to understand. Now, if I'm going because maybe I was molested, damn, I still would want a woman.
All the way to the end of the spectrum, huh?
Yeah, I would still want a woman because I don't want the men looking at me like, look at this. Look at this molested boy right
But
here.
a woman would be like,
Yeah, you gay, all these things,
Yeah,
right?
all those
Right.
things, yeah. So I'm with him. Hey, the more I think about it, I might want a woman therapist, and I would probably I most likely would want her to be Black because I believe that
and older.
I believe that it's hard to understand the plight of a Black person if you not them. I see so many white women who are therapists or educated or whatever who just are oblivious to the experiences that we have as Black people. No matter how much
I agree.
training,
No matter school you've been
education,
through.
schooling they've been through. And I think that's important.
I agree.
Yeah, and I appreciate you naming that. And if I could just tag on, I mean, everybody is different. Sometimes they do want a woman for therapy. What we also see, it's not just like a one size fits all. What we also see is that sometimes men will feel like the female therapists are more biased towards the woman and taking their side. And so they don't always feel it's her. So, but it really just depends on the person and where they are. And you are absolutely right? You don't want to have to explain things. I have treated people across the age spectrum, gender, race, and I usually have not had any issues. But I think one thing that Black people and probably Black women have to our benefit is that when you have experience so many things, your empathy is so much higher. So that could be why we do so well with people across the diaspora. But you also, don't want to have to be explaining your experience and getting invalidated and people talking about things they don't know. Another thought that I have around it though is oftentimes we do want somebody who looks like us or who we can relate to, of course, right? Because we want to be understood. So when a person feels understood, then the rest of that doesn't really matter. But unfortunately, here in America, we are very misunderstood, and Black men specifically, because y'all have a whole different plight than even Black women just walking out the door. And so that level of the pressure that's on you that sometimes we can even miss until we are more engaged with you is a lot higher, and people invalidate, right, your experiences. And nobody's following you. The police ain't after you, like all these things. And so this is why this conversation is so important, because Black men in their youth are the healthiest group of people. And that's biological, although who watch it, I ain't trying to go that far. But as they age, specifically in America, they have the worst health. And we're not even talking about like being overweight or things like that, right? Even when you're fit and all that, they die at disproportionate rates and have higher rates of mental health issues as well as physical health issues. And it really has to do with a lot of the stress just from being a Black man in America. And so that's why this conversation is so, so, so important. Because make sense to me. Why are you the healthiest group in your youth doing nothing, right? Y'all know you experienced it. And then as y'all age, you're dying, you're having heart attacks, you're having strokes. And it just has to do with the stress of it. And I don't think enough spaces are created to validate what the Black man's experience is here in America.
Definitely agreed.
Yeah, we agree with that.
100.
That's probably, it's interesting because that's like the irony of it. Black men deal with a lot of things and they do it internally because they got to be strong, for their family, for their other Black men, for their women. So that's also the cause of them dying young, that they don't have an outlet with each other or with a community to let it go and it'll be okay. So yes, irony in we're strong, we try to hold it down, we try to do our duty, but then we also need to release that or transfer that energy or have an understanding on it, and we die because we don't. So yeah, that's ironic that is. We're the healthiest, and then we hold it down, and then we die the fastest or the earliest than all other races or men. Damn.
And specifically in America, though, right? And specifically in America, though, and that's really important to highlight, because when folks are talking about genetics and all this other stuff, like, no, that's not true. There is an environment here that's making that difference.
I like that you said that, because a lot of people try to make genetics or something in your body the problem, when the truth is the lifestyle or the atmosphere, what's going on around you in your environment has a big, big part of stress, which causes all of the ailments. On top of that, they putting pesticides in our food and water and fruit.
Baby food.
So yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot out here. Damn. It made me
get reality check just now.
It just made
me caught one.
It made me almost shed a thug tear for the world.
Do it in front of a therapist. Don't do it in front of me.
If I cry in front of him, he gonna
don't do it in front of me. And I'm gonna give you a hug, but I ain't gonna tell nobody.
And he is cancer. He the most sensitive of us all.
Stop reading.
He's gonna take my ball and go home.
My birthday's June 30th.
Oh, you a cancer too? My daughter is a cancer. She June 22nd. My sister. I got a lot of cancers in my family.
Stop believing everything you read.
We're the best.
But it's interesting that you said that. That's a good thing. Now, that goes into the question that I was going to ask you. Do you work with non-Black men, also white men, Asian, Hispanic?
Oh yeah, absolutely. So I guess to share a little bit more about MHS, I don't know what all you share, but we do therapy services for across the spectrum for anyone. Our staff is predominantly minority and Black, and it's just by happenstance, right? People want to work with people that look like them, and it makes them proud. But our client population is very diverse. So MHS, we do therapy, individual therapy. I mentioned we do domestic violence classes. I teach some courses for certification, and then we also do services for kids with autism and a ton of other things. So we do treat people, across the spectrum race wise. And then personally, I've worked with people across it, and it's very funny because even non-black men, Latino, white, they're often like, "You're the best that I have." But I think some of that just has to do with the specialness with a black woman, and I'm good at what I do. But yeah, absolutely. Can I? And I don't know if you had a follow-up question about that.
Yes. Since you do work with all type of men, what are some of the similarities and differences between the mental health issues of black, Latino, white, or Asian men that you see? Like, what do you see more of this with white men, more of this with black men, more of this with Hispanic, or is it equal? Or is it just men?
So I think there are some things that masculinity, right, brings on for men across the board, right? That stress, that pressure to provide, perform, and that does create barriers in the room, because even when they come in, when we start getting deeper, when they start feeling seen, then you'll see that drawback. Because you're feeling seen, not necessarily judged. It's like, oh my God, you're making me feel vulnerable, and going towards those feelings can be difficult. What we see that are also similarities is that men tend to, their language is different, right? So sometimes we can't ask you what you feel. We gotta be like, what are your thoughts around this, right?
Exactly.
They can connect with that a little bit easier.
Y'all hear that? Do y'all hear that?
Women, she's telling y'all something. Men don't never say, "Oh, I feel." We say we believe or we think.
And stop saying go to therapy.
Nah, that's true though. We say we think. Y'all say I feel, so we can't combat it. Because if you say I feel this way, then what can I say? Well, your feelings are wrong. But if we say I think or I believe, so you're right. That's a good jewel.
Thank you.
Continue. Yeah, no, thank you. Yeah, and so that helps us kind of get a little bit farther and place things there. And it just takes a skilled therapist to know their client. I would say some of the differences is that no other races coming in. Well, I won't say no other, but white men are not coming in talking about systemic issues, right?
Right.
That black men might come in, and the multi-layered effects. I mean, we see substance use across the board. We see marriage issues across the board. I would say what's different specifically for black men is that bar can be a lot heightened, but I also think it comes down a little bit easier because culturally we are more emotional people, right? A little bit more attuned to ourselves. So it's higher up starting, but they can go a little bit deeper with that safe space. And then a lot of, just like I said, environmental things, policing, not feeling heard, not feeling understood. I mean, people struggle with jobs and all that kind of stuff, but that's what sets black men apart. And then while the relationship issues are the type of relationships that black men talk about can be a little bit different than some of the other races.
Facts. I'm sure that.
I know I'm overloading y'all. I'm giving too much. I'm sorry.
No, you do.
We just listening.
I'm taking it in.
We learning, and I think other people are taking it in too. Hopefully, the people listening learning, because this is a good conversation.
I got another question, right? About for people, the couples, right? What, speaking on black men mental health, can you give information of how to approach that as a woman coming to your man, not being aggressive, not being overly, fake, of like trying to get you to open up? Like, can you give advice on how that should be taken?
So are you asking if you notice that your man might need or could benefit from therapy, how do you approach that?
Yes.
Okay. So, and I've done this myself, right? I've been in this field.
Well, not just that, but even in-house first. Even in-house before they decide to come to you. Like, can it be handled something in the house? Because it could be just that person.
I guess what he's saying is...
What do you mean, like their woman?
Yes.
Yeah. If you see a man is struggling, he irritated, he frustrated, and you see you can help him, and you see something, how would you approach him before he even gets to go to therapy? Like the approach to him in his frustration or all the pressure
of everyday life. Like, how can you, as somebody that see him all day, every day, can minimize what he's going through? How can you approach that without him being defensive?
Okay, so I do want to dichotomize what we're talking about. Because if
Okay.
we're talking about somebody who's going through depression, right? They do need, right? If you got a diagnosable mental health thing going on, right? A disorder, which we characterize a disorder by some dysfunction, right? There's a criteria. So it's not just, oh, I'm irritable today. So we
Okay.
take depression, for example, there's a number of symptoms when we're talking about, okay, you need to go see somebody. And the intensity of those symptoms and the duration in which they occur. That's different than somebody being frustrated or feeling sad or being down. So to answer that part, I think anybody, right? You want to address it with some gentleness, some patience, using emotional intelligence. Like you got to learn your partner. Some people like more direct
You got to know your
communication.
partner.
Some people don't. So I don't think there's something that's blanket, but I do think all people and men don't want to be judged. So like you said, non-aggressiveness. So you want to feel like because you're having a challenge, it doesn't emasculate you. You ain't less of a man.
Yeah.
And so when a woman can approach you with that type of safety, so I think like your tone, I teach a lot about communication, those types of things like that, that opens them up. I think the challenge is though, because I'm gonna just answer the question.
Answer it.
Well, I kind of it sounds like y'all putting it on the woman
I'm gonna say
alone.
yeah. So roll with it.
I think sometimes the challenge can be, especially when we're talking about serious things going on with men, let's say grief or a loss of a job that's leading to like some real, some stuff, lack of motivation, just like real life, and it piles on. And I just really want to make sure I keep naming that I have observed how different your plight is, even from the Black woman, right? That being said, there is some requirement of accountability, right? You got to be willing to accept help. A lot of times men don't want to accept it, or sometimes they'll go back and forth. I mean, I've had it in my relationship. They're like, oh yeah, I know I'm going through this. One of my ex's dad died and all that. It makes sense that you're going through some stuff. But then you go back and forth. One day I'm willing to go to therapy or talk to somebody, or I'm open about it. The next day I don't even talk to nobody, but a therapist go tell me. So it
Right.
requires accountability on the individual always, though, to do their part. But we heal in community. So you have a responsibility, but yeah, your loved ones, your woman, whoever, also is a part of your wellness, right? We're designed to be in community and we heal in community, and a support system along with psychoeducation, which is why I love we're doing things like this, are your biggest factors in coping skills, are your biggest factors in prevention of mental health issues or substance use, as well as recovery. So the challenge for men sometimes is isolated. Y'all don't even talk to each other about y'all issues, and women do it all the time. Like, are you hanging out with the boys
Now,
this long?
now,
And
hold, wait,
talking about
wait,
that
Miss Therapist, wait.
stuff.
I'm glad you brought that up. I have this thought process of sometimes you need to be alone to think it out in your way.
Yeah.
And then I can take care of it because I made a plan to do it. And I might just need that time to figure that out. It might take 2 days. It might take 3 days. But I'll figure it out without any interruption, what I'm saying, or somebody trying to help or whatever. Some people are built that way.
Most men are
Is that for
way.
everything though?
If it worked before, we're going to try it again. If you get what I'm saying, with any problem that it is. If it doesn't work, then we'll seek somebody that's probably been through it, that look like me, act like me, I'm around more. And that's kind of like the steps or the levels of it as far as putting the information out of other people. You put it through you trust first.
I think that men do have this tendency, or we're taught, hey, you got to handle it. So we're problem solvers. So we try to get the problem and we try to figure out a plan to execute and solve it in our heads. Sometimes we go inside and our woman might think, hey, what's wrong? Why you ain't talking to me? And we're thinking, we're trying to figure this problem out so we can solve it and not put it on you, because we know you can't handle it the same way we handle it, or you might panic, or then we got to calm you down and remain calm. So what Suge's saying is, I think a lot of men think, okay, I'm a problem solver, so I'm gonna solve the problem. I'm not gonna put it on my woman. not right now because I can solve it. And then sometimes that miscommunication, I guess him not communicating that might be an issue, but sometimes we just go inside, like Suge said, and okay, let's take a day or two. We're just going to go inside and try to figure it out. And I think communication will help that when we tell each other, hey, I got some things on my mind. I'm going to try to solve them. But then the woman be like, I want to help you. I'm here for you. I'm your partner. And you be like, girl, sit down.
And it was like, you can't, right now you can't help. When I get to a point where I need you, let me come live everyday life. But some people just don't let you live like that.
Yeah.
Well, and I think that's another thing, though, like when you ask how should women approach, I don't think, and I've been guilty of this as well, we don't give y'all enough
look guilty.
Hey, I'm telling you, hey, now. I'm learning. But yeah, like we don't often give y'all enough space because we process differently. So that's another thing that women can do, allow space. But I'm not trying to be, well, I'm gonna just say it because we hear talking. We hear y'all, right? But we are also talking about the fact that men are dying at disproportionate rates than any other group because of stress. So I'm not saying that you should never solve anything on your own, or you should never have time to process and figure out what your step is. And also not saying that the woman has to be the only support. We said a support system.
Yeah.
That is not just to be on one person. So who are your, and this is a challenge, I think, just in general for our community across the board due to systemic things. Y'all don't hear me go back there. But who are your uncles? Who are your cousins? Who are your mentors? Who are your elders that y'all talk to? Everything you don't need. Yeah. So if everything you are keeping internally and figuring out on your own, well, we see what the outcome of that is. So it's not a viable solution. And nobody is built that way. Because we were born in community. People say, I came in this world on my own, not on my own. No, you didn't. You came in this world through your mom's tummy and your dad's sperm, right? You didn't come in this world on your own. So we're not meant to.
I'm in agreement to what you're saying. Of course, I'm like, when we can solve it on our own, we can solve it on our own. But when we can't, we go to, like you said, the community. I go to the homies or the OGs if it's something that I think that they can handle. Or I go to a woman if it's an issue that I think can be solved by her or somebody I look up to.
How many friends do that, though? How many other men you know? And maybe y'all might know differently based on like your demographic, who you're around.
Nah, men don't like to talk about that.
Enough men have those types of support systems in general.
Men don't like to talk about their problems with their homeboys like that. It's a very select few who you would do it with. If you're lucky to have a few, but I agree with you, and what you're saying to me is the truth. I read a book called Chasing the Screams, and it was about addiction. But the moral of the book was that they had the old thinking was addiction was a chemical bond with your brain. But they had one rat, and rat are like us. I mean, mouse, or they're social. So they had one rat by itself, and then they had the drug-induced water and the regular water and the hamster wheel. And the rat being by itself went to the drug-induced water. Once they put a bunch of rats in a cage with wheels and water and drug-induced water, the rats had communal, so they chose the regular water over the drug water. So what it showed was that, like you just said multiple times, a system of people, when you're depressed, you shouldn't just be like, oh, I'm going, I don't want to talk to nobody. You should talk to people, be around loved ones, be up, let them love on you and show you that, hey, we love you and you're worth it. Whatever you're going through, we could go through it with you. That's very important because most people get depressed or get anxious or get frustrated or get whatever and go inside and shut everybody off.
Yeah, and isolation is one of the symptoms, right, of it. And so, and to just, validate what you're also talking about, when we're like, if I'm working on a safety plan with somebody and it's just a life plan, there's different levels, right? I might say, what are some things you can do on your own to distract yourself? Then, like, what are some coping skills that you can do? Who can you talk to that's just a distraction, maybe not your safe space, right? Maybe that friend you call and, just shoot the stuff with and y'all laugh. Now, who is the person that you can actually tell, a loved one, right, that you can actually talk to about what you're going through? And then what things can you go do in your environment just to have fun? And then as if it continues to escalate, okay, who's a clinician you could talk to? Who's a sponsor? Where's a crisis? So, and it's multi-layer because one size don't fit all and everything don't work every time. So we got to have a toolbox full, and everybody ain't for everything, right?
Right.
And I I constantly think about what has disparaged us as a community because the rates of mental health issues that we see in our Black community, some people think that it's underreported, but it's not so much that it was historically, certain ones were not right properly diagnosed and all that. But historically, our suicide rates were not where they are. The
No.
more we assimilate into white normative culture, which is more individualized versus communal, you think back, the church was a big part of our social job. I don't care what you think about the church and
Right.
whatever your things are. Community was there. Safety was there. The church was a place that Black people could go and talk about things that were experiencing racially. So we had more community, and now we are more isolated. And so we
True.
are seeing the rates of things that did not exist at this same rate in our community now because as our finances increase, as we become more individualized and separated, less married, all these things, we are more isolated. And when you think about COVID, that was the single reason why everybody's issues were so high. We didn't have our coping skills and we were isolated. We didn't have community. Those become a buffer.
Right.
Sorry, I hope
Right.
I'm not preaching. But
No, you good.
No.
for me, it's really important because we didn't used to get plagued by this. Why? Because we had coping. Didn't mean like think about what we've experienced historically as a people. We've been through some of the worst things, and we still didn't have these same
Facts.
rates of suicide. We had hope, we had community, and we had outcomes and buffers that were helpful, right, to our wellness and healing. And I see that kind of going away more. And I'm talking too much. Passionate about it. Sorry, I'm passionate
That's what you're
about
on here for, to speak.
Exactly. And that is
But all
important.
that was great.
That is important to tell people. My cousin just recently came back from Japan, and he was like, in Japan it's different, bro. He was like when they're going to work, the people who get there early park in the back, so that the people that's running late can park in the front and get a parking space. I was like, damn, we would never do that in America.
Ever.
We more about individualism. They're more about it's us. It's all of us together. So that is a very, very poignant point that we, even though we've been through all these things in this country, we still had each other. And we probably was more together with each other when we had less right after slavery or redlining and all the things they did, because we had only each other. The more we get separated from each other, I always believe, me and Suge also,
That's
we
the
talk
plan.
about the more we separate each other from whatever, I'm gonna use education, right? They'd be like, the more educated you go, the higher you go on the class wheel, the more you look down on the people that's less educated, and then you become the buffer of your people and upward mobility for, like you said, assimilating to white culture.
You're the gray
and then
area.
now I've seen a few rappers say, I sent my daughter, we live in the suburbs, I sent my daughter to the all-white school. They called her a nigger. They treat her bad, and her mental health is destroyed. Or I send her to a public school where they ain't got that enough good education, so I'm stuck between two places. So it's hard for us if we don't love on one another, no matter how high you are, no matter what your class is, to understand that, hey, help your brother or sister up. Let's help each other. Each one teach one. So it's important that you touched on that part, because I don't think we understand that as a community. We're getting further and further. We're dissenting from one another rather than coming together. And it's also showing in our men and women relationships.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
The current rate of suicide of Black men is 8 out of 10. 8 out of 10.
For what age group?
It's got to be
24, what is it, 24, 45?
24 to 45.
Attempts.
Attempts.
Uh-huh.
Damn.
Even if half of that is successful, that's a lot.
Right. Still a lot.
We're going with the issue that men withholding their mental health is the highest reason of why that's happening. Correct.
I think
Withholding their stress, withholding their mental health.
I think there could be, obviously that's a contributing factor, but like a lack of hope, right? But yeah, if you ain't talking to nobody, you get hopeless. You think it's all on you. I know finances can become a big one.
finance is
Yeah,
definitely
and just
a
being
big one.
alone. Hmm.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
hard to, it's hard for a man to, even if all the financial weight is on him and he can't hold it or he loses his job or something happens drastic, he feels like, and he goes inside of himself and feels like, oh, I'm not a man enough. And it don't help that some women will throw it in your face. Like, you ain't shit. You ain't got no job. So you know what?
Terrible.
I see the complexity of this issue. It's like we've been taught to hold everything down, and then when we don't hold down, we get looked at
Different.
less than. So we keep it in to try to not get looked at less than, and then we die early. Man.
For somebody, I got this question for you. For all that we just said, for somebody that probably doesn't fully believe in going to see somebody to talk to, I guess looking for healing, don't believe in it. And it's probably their last ditch effort, probably going to talk to somebody. What information can you give to make somebody to make that decision to actually go and actually talk to somebody?
Well, one of the things I love about therapy is because it's confidential. So it's your safe space and it's all about you. I was just talking to a black man a few weeks ago. I'm like, it's true, but y'all can see I can talk. So when I go to therapy, sometimes I look at the clock and my therapist didn't say anything. And I just needed that space to get it out, right? Because I can't talk to the staff and all these different things. So sometimes it's just nice to have a space to get it out, right? It's confidential, so nobody is going to know. So at least you have that safety there. And it's different depending on and I am a big believer in utilizing coping skills and all of these other things because therapy alone is not going to heal you, right? You have to apply the things that you're getting there. And again, you got to still like have a whole toolbox of things that you're utilizing, including friends and all these other things. Um, but it's different when you're speaking to a clinician who is trained and skilled and prayerfully good at what they do than a friend. Not that you can't get good advice from a friend. You should talk to your friends too. But it's an art and a science.
Mm-hmm.
And it can be sometimes insulting when people are like, well, I'm a therapist because I'm a hairstylist. Like, no, you are a safe space and people need that too. When I go to my hairstylist, I need to talk and vent. But you're not a therapist because we're trained in specific modalities and tools and skills to kind of get certain things out sometimes. I've been stuck in therapy. I mean, it's an art where people just feel comfortable, but we're thinking about what we're doing and we're utilizing scientific tools. I guess that's just what I'm saying.
Okay.
So you're going to get a different outcome than only talking to other people and not talking to somebody who's trained. And so those are some of the benefits. And now I'm biased and all those things. And really, I have very few people that at least come to me. And most of my friends, they're really great clinicians too, that's even when they're resistant. But this is about that space being cultivated for you. So that's what I would say. We all need somebody to talk to. Why not do it with somebody who you ain't got to worry about judging you and they gonna tell your business?
Right. That's true.
Man, I talked to you the other day. Guess what this fool going through?
Yeah, exactly. That happens. That's crazy. But I got a question. All right, so when someone embarks onto therapy with you, is there an exit strategy or a goal that they reach where they don't need you no more, or is it continuous? Is it lifelong, or is it as they need it?
Oh, can they ring the bell at the end and
like,
not come see you again?
Can they be like, you healed me?
Yes.
Dinisha? I'm out of here. Now I'm finna go.
Number one, we do not heal anybody. We support you in finding what's best for you. If you got a therapist who's constantly giving you advice, you need to leave their room. It is not my responsibility to tell you what to do. It is my responsibility to help you determine what's best for your life and find what those things are that are going to be, because you got to live with that. You know yourself better than anybody. I'm not the expert on you, right?
Right.
So that's number one. Number two, we do have goals set. People tend to come to therapy, right, for a specific reason. So we do a treatment plan and have goals set. And sometimes new things arise. And so people want to stay longer because, again, maybe I've had a client who came in just for anxiety. And within like maybe 2-3 months, we realized she had PTSD and a whole bunch of other stuff, right? Because that process, if we're doing it right, other things get uncovered. So they might be there a little bit longer depending on their diagnosis. And then there are some people who come back and forth. They might just do a check-in once a month just to, kind of like a little tune-up, going to see the doctor. So it just looks different for everybody. There's nothing wrong with going regularly over your lifetime. I've stopped and started before. There are certain people, though, depending on if they got like a personality disorder or some other things, that it might be helpful for them to just stay in touch with a clinical professional. And these are people who probably like are on medication or need medication to, depending on the severity of their mental illness. So again, it ranges, but ultimately my goal is to put myself out of a job. I want to give you the tools. I want to give you the tools to know how to, because it's not about like healing. It's about learning how to manage, right? It's about not spiraling when something is seriously happening. Life gonna happen. We gonna go through grief. We're gonna get sad. We might have depression symptoms. We might experience anxiety. It is not about mitigating life from happening. It's about, how do I manage this? So now I don't think I'm having a heart attack when I'm experiencing some anxiety, but I know how to slow down and do some deep breaths and regulate and know what's happening with my body. Or if I notice that my depression, if I am a person who's prone to depression, I notice my behaviors and I'm isolating, then, let me make sure I check in and go engage in activity of enjoyment or go on a walk to boost my endorphins. It's learning how to manage life better.
I love that you said that, because that's the best way, to me, you could put it. Therapy is about not making life easy for you. It's about you being able to handle the things that come with the ups and downs, the minutia, the frowns and smiles of life. Because a lot of people don't see it that way. They think, she can heal me or they can heal me. I'll be like, life gonna happen. You gotta be strong enough to take this road of life and be resilient enough and mentally strong enough, and to me, believe in the God within you enough to handle the ups and downs and get through it, persevere, become a better person, learn something about yourself. So I love that you said that, because I very, very rarely hear therapists say that. My job is to give you the tools to help you manage life, not that make life gonna be easier for you. Life's gonna be life, but I want you to handle it well so you don't spiral out.
I like
so
that.
I appreciate you for saying that.
For sure. I've never heard somebody say that.
Right.
It's still important now. I'm gonna give you your props, Dinisha. I'm thinking differently about therapy now. The way you articulated that, I like that. It actually got my mind changed.
So now I'm gonna talk to Suge and going to see you. He gonna be calling you, hey, boss lady, what's Dinisha number?
Dinisha, you ain't gonna believe it.
He gonna be like, QB beat me in dominoes all the time, and the Cowboys trash. What can I do? She's like, calm down. It's not the end of the world.
But thank y'all. I appreciate that. It really is meaningful, because
it is refreshing to hear you say that.
Never heard nobody say it like that.
It's really refreshing, because we never hear them say it that way. It's more the fact that you even said my goal is to put myself out of a job. Because we always thinking money is the motivator. So why would you really heal somebody?
You want me to keep coming back to stay in my pockets? Come back no more.
I'm sorry, I looked at some of the comments, so forgive me.
Right.
No, but I mean, that is it, right? Yeah, like, you're in a human service field. I tell people all the time, like, we're dealing with people's lives. I know we want to do what we love to do and make a living doing it, right? Of course, I don't want to be struggling about my livelihood out here trying to help everyone else. But this is a human service field. You're dealing with people's lives. It is a very, very serious. People come to us in their most vulnerable times. And this is why I keep like an intake person, because a lot of times people call us just when they're in that crisis. If you don't answer that phone or get back to them quick enough, that moment, that fleeting moment passed.
That's true.
Now they might not even want to come. And so just because it can be hard, it can be difficult to navigate. And so, we're dealing with humans' lives, and you have to take that seriously. And we want to give people hope and encouragement, and know, like, you you can do this, right? Life is going life, but you don't have to give up. But that's like my philosophy. But most of the therapists I work with, like that's what it is. But I take dealing with people's lives very, very serious. And I've had some people leave out of the field. So I'm like, if you're not serious about people and they're dealing with them in their most vulnerable state and they come into you looking for something, you do not need to be in this field. It is not a field that we get into to get rich.
I'm like, this is a very, very refreshing interview. Well, conversation.
And I got a question.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
Do you do couples therapy, like husband, wife?
My business does. I personally have not done many couples yet. I'm actually in my PhD program, so I'm on pause.
Go get it, girl.
Doctor. Next time we talk to you, you're gonna be Doctor.
Go get it, girl.
Dinisha.
Keep me in prayer. Yes, yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Put your information out there for people that want to look for somebody like you in your services. Put it out there.
Tell them everywhere, everything. Where you at, where your Facebook at, where your Instagram at, Snapchat.
We ain't got a snap. But so you can visit our website at www.mhsbs.com. And I will also put it in the chat on here. Our phone number is 702-848-1696. You can follow us on all social media outlets at MHSBS Inc. And if you look me up, Dinisha Mingo, you'll find MHS. So our location, we have 2 locations. So one is on Flamingo and Eastern. And then we have another location, which is our more wellness-oriented organization. So MHS is more treatment. And then Restorative Health and Life is on Camino Al Norte and Washburn. And we do therapy there as well. But we also do more wellness center things like yoga, sound bowls, and other things. So yeah, you got 2 locations, but you can access all of our services. We do have psychiatric nurse practitioners that can help if somebody does need medication. We don't have to get to that point today. But like I said, we do therapy. We have clinicians who are marriage and family therapists, and they treat couples. We treat the lifespan, children, adults, families. And yeah, and insurances and all that stuff is on the website.
Right on.
We definitely gonna have to get you back when you become Dr. Dinisha.
Dr. Dinisha.
And when you come back, don't be acting like better than us because you got your
Because
doctor.
you're a doctor now.
We gonna be like you did Cheyenne
down.
Bryant, and we gonna look it up, see where your dissertation at.
Yeah,
Cheyenne
the
Bryant.
higher education we go, the more we look down. But
Yeah, don't be coming
You
over
know-
like, oh, I'm better than y'all now. What water are you guys drinking? It's not good anymore.
give me boss, right? That ain't even exist enough. But so I do want to say, since it's Men's Health Month, Mingo Health Solutions, we do host a men's group, and it's just an open support group. It's not a therapy group, but we do have clinicians that volunteer to be a part of that, just to kind of anchor the conversation. Because and so that happens. We partner with the NAACP, so shout out. So it's at the Stellar Lake address. We do that once a month, every Thursday. It is free. It is just a space for men. It's called Iron Sharpens Iron. So for y'all, by y'all. Shout out to my Myron Mingo, who heads that group. And then next Thursday, that's every 3rd Thursday. And then every 4th Wednesday, we do a panel at Mariposa, talking about different topics. And so this month, because for May, we talked about women's health, the Women's Personal Summer. So for June, which is Men's Health Month, we're going to be talking about men's hormonal things and how that can affect y'all as y'all age and change, because your process is different than ours. It's more slow. But we don't talk about that stuff enough. And the reason why I want our conversations to go more towards that, because, well, you probably have experienced this, some women in your lives, when they're going through those hormonal changes, can look like it's just a lot that's going on mentally. But the same thing can happen with men. It looks different, and then even as you age. And so I think wellness and mental health is about not just talking about the depression, anxiety, the trauma, but also like what things are happening naturally, environmentally, and even biologically, right, that can impact our wellness. Because, like, for example, some men, as they age, they might find that they're not getting it up as easily, right, for their wives, and they think they're less.
We knew you was gonna go there.
Melinda Clarkson. But there's other reasons that contribute to that. But then you might think you are not attracted to your wife because the young girl who, is new, and dopamine and endorphins and all these things that are happening in your brain can influence that type of arousal. And then now you make decisions that can dismantle your life. And so it is a co-ed conversation. I hope y'all
We're
come.
going to look into that.
Please come. It's free. We want to support Mariposa, but just want to have real life conversations. And it's co-ed because the men need to know what's going on with their women, and the women need to know what's going on with their men.
All right.
We want to thank you Miss Dinisha, for everything.
We need 2 hours because you was talking a lot, girl.
We need that. We need that, though.
But we got to go. Thank you for the conversation. It was great.
Thank you.
We're going to come to the Mariposa and the men's talk. I'm going to start coming to that or bringing
I'm
people.
I'm holding you to it now.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. We're out of here. We late.
Everybody have a great week. See y'all Saturday morning. Do safe.
Way bigger than sports.
Radio dial right here. You're locked into the hottest news station on the planet. High 702.5 in FM sound. Blazing today's hip hop, R&B, and pop music. Keeping your radio on fire. Bringing you the hottest, realest, riskiest talk shows live 24/7 on high 702.5fm.com.